Hi and welcome into another video. Today we'll hop into AWS console to spin up a new EC2 instance. We will then go to this EC2 instance and install Nginx, which is a very lightweight web server. Then we will try to reproduce all of that in a more automatic way using user data at instance creation. So let's hop into the console and work it out. Alright, we are in our AWS console. I will firstly navigate to EC2 and let's spin ourselves a very basic instance. We will do a briefly, let's say, Nginx manual. We will use Amazon Linux. We'll do T2 micro, which is free-tier legible. We'll create a keeper. Let's call it briefly SSH. Let's create a keeper. Alright, then in network, auto-assign public IP access. We'll create a new security group. We'll allow SSH traffic and HTTP traffic, and the rest we will leave as is. The instance will now take probably 20 to 30 seconds to launch. Let's navigate here. Let's refresh that. It already has a public IP. Alright, it's still pending. Let's wait a few more seconds. It should be in a running state. Okay, it's running. Let's connect to it using EC2 Instance Connect. AWS will launch ourselves a terminal window here. Alright, and let's take the public IP address, open a new window, and let's do HTTP at this IP address. As you can see, the site can be reached. Okay, let's deal with that. So we will do a sudo yum-y update firstly. It will update the information about the system packages. -y does it so that we don't need to confirm anything. Then let's do an install. So we will do the same, but install Nginx. It will install Nginx for us without any asks. Alright, it's installed. So let's do now systemctl. Let's see the status of Nginx service. It's inactive and disabled. So let's do sudo systemctl start Nginx. It will start the Nginx service, and let's do also enable, which will enable the service so that it will be auto-started whenever system reboots. And let's go back to the status. We have it active and enabled. Let's get back to this page and let's refresh it. And as you can see, welcome to Nginx. This page here is available under user share Nginx HTML index HTML. Here is the HTML which was shown here. Okay, so we did some steps manually after instance launched. Let's now get back to the user data idea. So the idea behind user data is that you can create a script, a bash script, which will be launched at the instance setup and an instance launch. So let's go back to the instances. Let's launch another one. So we will call it Nginx manual, and then Nginx auto. Most of the things we will leave the same. We will select the keeper, but we will actually not be logging it to this instance. Let's do the same. Maybe let's check the existing group and take the one which was done previously. It will allow for the same stuff. And in advanced details, at the very bottom, there is something called user data, as I mentioned, and you can either attach a file or you can create it. So let's create ourselves a bin bash script, and let's do all the same things, but let's drop sudo, because actually user data, when it launches as a root by default. So let's do yum-y update yum-y install Nginx, and let's do systemctl start Nginx, and let's do systemctl enable Nginx. Alright, and let's launch our instance with this user script. Let's go back to instances. Let's give it a moment, as with the previous one. That's already clicked here. Okay, we have a running instance with a new public IP. So this one is 442007.363. It's still available. It's our manual instance. And here we'll have our auto instance with a different IP address. So let's open another tab and let's do HTTP with this. Site can be reached. Probably it's still being Nginx is installing. Okay, as you can see here, I needed to refresh the page a few more times, and we see our Nginx instance. So the issue that it wasn't being shown like right from the start is that actually when the instance changed its state to running, it doesn't mean that all the user data script was done from the beginning to the end. So you need to watch out for that sometimes, especially if the user data will be long, installing a lot of packages, and it will be having a lot of time for all those operations, then it can take some time between the instances in running state, and in fact, you see all those details. So that's it for today. Hope you learned something, and see you next time.